There's one principle in fitness that is more important than your program design. It's more important than the specific exercises you choose, and more important than whether you're doing supersets, straight sets, circuits, high intensity, or whatever approach you've been reading about. The principle is called progressive overload. And if you don't understand it, you will never, in the long run, make progress. At least not proper progress. Here's the core idea, as simple as I can put it. Your body adapts to the demands you place on it. If you lift the same weights in the same rep ranges for the same number of sets, week after week after week, your body will adapt to that stimulus in the first however many weeks, and then stop. It stops adapting because you're not giving it a new stimulus for it to adapt to. So once the body is capable of doing whatever you're throwing at it, it cruises. Here's something you guys need to understand. Your body doesn't give a fuck how you want to look. It doesn't care about having abs. It doesn't care about having muscle. In fact, it doesn't want those things. Your body's built for survival. Muscle equals burning more calories. So why would you want to do that if your main goal is survival? So you are going to be in constant battle with your body, and you have to keep giving it a stimulus, a reason to build muscle. Progressive overload means systematically increasing the demand on your muscles over time. So your body is continuously pushed beyond its current capacity, which means it has to adapt, which means you continuously progress. Now, most people think progressive overload is just adding weight to the bar. And that's one way of doing it, but it's not the only way. And sometimes it's not even the most practical way. There are actually multiple different variables that you can use to progressively overload. And understanding all of them gives you a lot more flexibility in what you can do and how you can move forward. So yeah, you can increase the load, literally add weight. You can also increase the reps, same weight, more reps on each set. You can increase the sets by adding an additional working set to an exercise. You can decrease the rest periods. So you're putting in the same kind of work, but you're allowing less recovery between sets, which forces your cardiovascular system and your muscular system to work a little bit harder. You can improve the tempo, slow down the eccentric portion of the exercise, which creates more time under tension. You can also improve the range of motion. You can take an exercise through their full mechanical range more deliberately in order to improve. All of these represent a greater demand on the muscle. All of them can drive progress. And you only need to progress on one or two of these variables per session to be moving in the right direction. Now, here's what actually happens without a progressive overload strategy. And I see this constantly being on a gym floor. Someone starts training, the first few weeks, results come quite quickly because that stimulus that they're given is, brand new. The body is adapting rapidly. And frankly, any training stimulus at the beginning produces a response. Then, let's say week 7, 8, 9, fuck all happens. The weights haven't changed, the reps haven't increased, everything is the exact same as it was a month ago. And the person assumes, maybe the program isn't working, or their body has stalled, they've plateaued, or maybe they start saying their genetics as an excuse. When actually, the problem is they've been doing the same fucking thing for the past 6 weeks and their body has stopped adapting because, there's no reason for the body to adapt anymore because it's used to what you're giving it. Now, the solution here is tracking. And I cannot overstate how many people don't track their training. If you're not physically writing it down or logging it in an app such as your notes app in your phone, and you're not tracking, the weights that you lifted, how many reps you got, and how many sets you did, how do you know whether you've progressed or not? You're relying purely on memory, which can be unreliable. You're basically winging it. And winging it means sometimes you progress accidentally, but most times you plateau and you can't figure out why. Keep a training log. It doesn't need to be complicated. Exercise, sets, reps, weight, every session. Then, when you come back to that session the next week, you're trying to beat what you did last time. More reps with the same weight. Same reps with slightly more weight. Add in an extra set. Any of those things. Just a bit more than you did last time. This is also why your program matters much less than what you do with it. A decent program executed with progressive overload over a year will produce far better results than the perfect program repeated exactly the same way for 6 months. The program is just the framework. Progressive overload is the engine. Be better than last week. Be better than last session. That's it. That's the whole principle. Be better. And do that for years, and your body will change in ways you wouldn't believe. I promise you.